This video presents an introduction to periodicals. Most of your research projects or papers will require you to use articles from periodicals, so it is important that you understand the difference among them and know how to use them. A periodical is any publication that is released periodically or on an ongoing basis, such as weekly, monthly, or yearly. Major types of periodicals include magazines, journals, newspapers, and almanacs. The three types of periodicals discussed in this video are popular magazines, trade or professional publications, and scholarly or academic journals. Magazines are a type of periodical that's often also called popular. These are publications that you will see at the bookstore or the grocery store or the gas station just on the shelves. Their purpose is to entertain and inform, but remember that the entertaining part is often more important than the informing part. They're glossy, they have lots of advertisements and images in bright colors, very eye-catching. Most articles are short, only a few pages or less. They'll contain few, if any, references or bibliography. Usually you won't see that at all. They appeal to a variety of audiences, and pretty much anyone could pick them up and read it and understand what was going on. It doesn't require prior knowledge. You could pick up an article about something you know nothing about, and it would be written in a way that you could understand. They won't contain any academic research, and are generally tertiary sources. This means they might refer to secondary sources, such as a study, but they're never going to actually contain a particular study or research or data. They're usually written by journalists or reporters that work for the magazine, not by an expert in the field. Trade publications are publications designed for people in a specific industry or trade. They're usually accessed either through libraries or through a subscription or membership in an association. They're not readily available through a bookstore or normal purchase. Their purpose is to inform people in that field about what's going on in the profession and help them improve at their jobs. They'll often look more like a magazine. They'll be bright, have a lot of images, glossy pages, but all of the articles will generally relate to the one broad topic. They'll contain ads, but usually those ads are relevant to the field itself. The articles are generally short. You won't usually find references or a bibliography, but they might contain lists of further or suggested reading. They may contain some industry-specific jargon or technical language, but they could still be read and understood by most anyone who picked it up. They don't usually have an abstract in any of the articles, and they may be written by academics working within the field or by a paid journalist or reporter. Scholarly journals are generally accessed through libraries or through membership in an association. Subscriptions to these is usually very expensive. The purpose of scholarly articles is to increase the body of knowledge in a field and communicate new research to other scholars. They're mostly black and white with a lot of text, no images and no ads. The articles are usually pretty long. It's not uncommon for them to be 30 or 40 pages in length. They always have long lists of references and footnotes, and they almost always have an abstract at the beginning of the article. They can often be hard to read. They're written at a very high level, and they usually contain specific and technical language. The content is usually the results of some particular research or a scientific study, along with an analysis of that. They're usually written by an expert or scholar in the field who has performed that research. The information is usually primary or secondary, the secondary information being the analysis by the author and the primary being any original research or data, raw data that's presented in that article. Scholarly journals also usually go through a peer review process. This means that other scholars and experts in the field have looked at the article and approved it before it gets published. This is discussed more in the video on scholarly articles. This graph summarizes some of the major differences among popular trade and scholarly journals outlined in the previous slides. This presents some specific examples of popular magazines, trade publications, and scholarly journals.